I think one of the most heartbreaking events that happen when you have a serious problem with alcohol is the loss of long term friends. Especially in my wife's case, before she died from alcohol use disorder a little over 4 years ago. I remember that one of the first times I realized that she had a very serious problem was we went to one of her friends from college, and I mean, I was a good friend to him and his wife. And Mandy had known him for 30 years, and he had a 50th birthday party. It was in Orange County, about an hour away. It was at a clubhouse, and there was lots of booze, and there was probably 100 people there. It was a big event. It was just a big party for everybody that they had known from the past and different eras. And at the end of it, this went on, most of the night, and our son was there. He was probably 9 or 10 at the time, and it really was a nice event. We talked to a lot of people we hadn't seen in a long time, but at the end of the night, unfortunately, Amanda started drinking heavily. I guess she downed an entire bottle. I was talking to other people. I really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to her, and then she was doing shots with a couple other friends of tequila, and I guess that added up. So at the end of the night, her friend and, my friend, our friend, and her wife asked us to stay at their house because they only lived a few minutes away, and by then it had gotten very late and we had helped them clean up. And looking back, I probably should have just driven home because her friend and myself, we had to actually carry Amanda to the car under each shoulder and get her in the passenger seat. So we ended up staying at their house. We stayed at the guest bedroom, and unfortunately, Amanda, I think she must have had more, we got into their liquor cabinet or something when we stayed at their house because everybody went to bed. The next morning, she wasn't in the bed when I woke up. And unfortunately, I think, they had two kids, and their son found her passed out in the middle of the living room, and she had peed all over, apparently, this beautiful oriental rug that had been my friend's grandmother's. Not a good scene when you go over and spend some time with long-term friends. And it ended up being very bad. And I remember at the time, Amanda was just unbelievably hungover, and she was kind of dizzy, very unstable. The wife was very upset. I mean, obviously, and they pretty much just asked us to leave. And it was very embarrassing, and it's an event I always felt bad about. And we talked to him later, but it was never the same after that, unfortunately. And later, I saw the friend at a parade. We did a parade every year in Pasadena. He basically came up to me and said, we can never have Amanda at our house again. I know I've known her 30 years, but this is not behavior that we're ever going to put up with. And, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'll be glad to see you every year at the parade, but we're not going to have you over at our house ever again. And it was just, really, you had to step back and you realize what kind of damage the alcohol is doing, not just to your life, but to the people that you've known for maybe years and years. And unfortunately, this is what happens when you go down this road. I really think that was part of one of the biggest indicators that there was a very serious problem. This was probably around 2010, a good decade before she passed away. But unfortunately, this is all part of the process. You become very isolated. Most friends aren't going to come out and say, you know what, I'm done with you. They'll just disappear. You're just not going to hear from them anymore. They'll kind of ghost you. They just don't want to deal with it anymore. And unfortunately, your friends will end up being only people that you talk to on the phone, or they will be fellow alcoholics. For the most part, this is what you're going to end up with, or close family members if they can still deal with it. And this is why you become very isolated, and this is what the disease does. It drives everybody away and makes you more isolated, and it exasperates the depression and the anxiety and everything that's already going on with you to begin with. And it's a very unfortunate incident. I talk about these, again, not to disparage my wife, but to tell these stories so that if you identify someone in your family kind of going down this path, well, it's time to step in and have the tough conversations, have the uncomfortable conversations now, better now than 10 years from now. And again, when you're ready for some customized help for both yourself and your family, I like to bring the family together, educate the family, and find the core issue with the alcoholic in the family. Set up a breakthrough call. Link is in the bio. Set up a calendar call. We'll spend about a half hour going over your issues, and then we'll go over the program, make sure it's a good fit. And again, please like, share, and comment. And again, we have a Facebook group called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism, which has become a very good support group. I also go live every night at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock East Coast Time. And again, thanks for listening.